This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we cover the movie Planes, Fire and Rescue.
Put out this fire.
There is a lot of country songs in this movie, isn't there?
I noticed that it's
But
okay.
So doesn't Cars have a lot of movies? Or have a lot of
Cars-
movies. Cars does have a lot of movies. We're talking about it right now. But no, have a lot of country songs. That's where Life is a Highway comes from, right? I know they use it, but
yeah,
that song came out beforehand, I'm guessing.
yeah, it came out beforehand, but yeah, Cole's really. I mean, that one's a no-brainer. Why would you not use that song?
Yeah. But
In
Planes
there.
doesn't really have. Is there even a song about planes? Didn't Kesha have that one song about being high as a G6? A G6 is
Maybe.
a type of airplane. Believe it's a private jet.
It's a private jet. Them bad boys probably get over 40,000 feet in the air.
Aw, damn.
Oh yeah.
Yes, so
I don't know if there's like the equivalent of Life is a Highway.
we can't make
for
that joke. We
planes.
made that joke when we covered planes. So
We did, didn't we? I was like, why does this sound so familiar?
But yeah, we this is the last week of spin-off month, and why not cover the last spin-off of Cars, the sequel to
Yeah.
Planes? It wasn't because there was a request on the mega thread of our Patreon where someone said to every single Inspector Gadget, and we're like, normally if you do a mega request, it bumps you up, but because that one was so large, we have to spend the entire month of anime doing research on Inspector Gadget in the background.
We
so
want to knock it out of the park.
like we
so
really
we'll
want to
put
do a
some time
good
in
job. So
it. Yeah.
get ready for a very long episode about Inspector Gadget.
I hope you like it.
Yeah, I hope we
I
like
hope
it.
you like Matthew Broderick.
Ooh, we still haven't done our live action landfill on Highlander, but we're gonna do that. We'll definitely do a live action landfill of Inspector Gadget. Both
Oh yeah.
both of them. Where that one where he shoots a rocket and it's supposed to be a metaphor for him cumming his pants.
A lot of that in Highlander too.
Cumming your pants?
Yes.
Wow, I can't wait to watch it. But before we get into any of that,
Yeah.
let's talk about the movie at hand. So, no theme song to be heard of.
No.
So, let's just get into it. I'm pretty sure we all know. Also, before we start, before I ask you how did this get made, because this movie is dedicated to the brave firefighters. Do
Yes.
we dedicate this episode to firefighters?
Why not?
Do firefighters want our sport?
I mean, I feel like if you honor them in any way, as long as you're thankful for the efforts that they put in.
Before this episode, in the episode description, you want to link a charity for firefighters?
If I can find one.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that.
I'm sure I can.
So this
I mean, I'm
episode is
sure I
dedicated to
can.
firefighters, and we're going to do a step above Disney and fucking link a charity. It's the literal least we can do. But Joel,
Oh, yes.
how did Planes, Fire and Rescue get
Oh
made?
boy, Andrew. I wish there was.
I know there's not.
That's not a lot. I mean, it's kind of a mirror from the first Planes. Money grab. That's it. Disney just calls is a hot ticket item with the youngsters. So hey, just keep pumping out what we can. I did find it interesting. So on this one though, So, according to the director and co-writer, Roberts, he goes by Bob, Ganaway, he said that the first film was a race film, and he wanted this one to look like a different genre, in this case, an action disaster film. The production for Planes, Fire, and Rescue began 6 months after the start of the production for the first Planes.
Wow.
So the first Planes hasn't even been completed, hasn't hit movie theaters, and they've already started working on the sequel to it.
I mean, I guess it's got to be kind of easy to do a CGI. Once you get the models made, you can basically do whatever you need to. It's not like the old school 2D.
You would think that it took them nearly 4 years to get this movie completed.
Oh.
I think one of the reasons why, and to me, I kind of love the film for this, on the amount of effort that the filmmakers actually did in researching, like, some of the silliness in the movie, but they wanted to get it as close to possible as, like, accurate. But they said they actually researched the world of air attack teams and smoke jumpers by working with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. They sent a crew to their annual training exercises for smoke jumpers. They actually hooked cameras onto their helmets and recorded them jumping out of the plane so they could try to mirror that in this movie. After about a year of research, they started working on the story of this.
Okay.
And they actually, I don't know if this was just such a happy coincidence, but they said that Dusty coming one of these rescue planes, they decided to do it like that because they found out that in 1955, that was like some of the first planes that they would use to fight fires was crop dusters. So it just so happened to work out that, hey, we can do it like this. And the more I think about this movie, the more I realize, I don't know if any of this, like, I don't know if the connection between Planes and the Fire and Rescue, like having the main character Dusty, I almost feel like that just kind of happened. Like, they wasn't originally planning to have the same main character, but everything just kind of lined up where it was an easy transition to bring Dusty to that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Because they really, in my research, they really didn't even think about the fact that, like, the whole element to this movie about how, like, Dusty's, what was it, what part inside of his engine had went bust?
Yeah, his gearbox. His
gearbox,
busted.
yeah. Like, that, in all the research I could find, they was just like, yeah, we started making this movie and we realized that, yeah, that would make sense if he's pushing his plane constantly, that his gearbox would be shot. So it just kind of made sense.
I mean, it's not a bad story. It's not a bad plot point. There's only one really bad. To me, there's only one really bad plot point. We'll get to that a little later.
Yes. But that's really it with the creation. There's not really much more with it. There was a pre-release screening of the film that was conducted in 2014 for the National Native Media Conference. And they did a Q&A with the Native to discuss the Native American themes in the film. because I guess that was a hot ticket item for when this movie came out. Was
I feel
their
like
native...
it was a real dice roll, and I think the only reason they pull it off of making the Apache helicopter a Native American is because they got a voice actor that was a Native American.
It is said that they
could have easily done somebody doing an impression and been like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
So in the movie, unless you watch the movie, this probably won't make much sense to you. But the folk tale that Windlifter tells about the coyote, that was developed with consulting Dr. Paul Apodakar. I probably butchered that last name, but he's an expert on Native American myths and folklore.
It did sound genuine. I mean, I don't really remember it very well, but like when what is his name again? Windlifter, when he does do that it's supposed to be a toast in the movie. But it does sound like a Native American folklore tale. And it's like, it's weird how much effort they put into the Cars franchise. Because it's like, all of them are like this. Like, you'll go back and you'll be like, yeah, and like, even Cars 2, it's like, oh yeah, they went to all these European locations. And like, okay, but what if it was made by Cars? We gotta re-engineer everything.
Dude, it's wild that level of, let's say, love, passion that they put into these movies blows my mind.
Yeah.
Because they could have easily just phoned it in, made this movie probably within a year period, and it probably would have been trash if they did that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know. I think just the effort and the passion that they actually took the time to research this stuff, it paid off, in my opinion. So
another hot take. I like this movie more than any of the Cars movies.
Same. I like this one more than the first Planes movie.
Dusty's a likable guy. I don't know how to explain it. Again, super weird they picked Dane Cook. This may be his most charming role.
Did all the previous voice actors, or the returning characters?
Yeah, everybody, every character that was in the first one, you heard their voice. They even brought Cedric the Entertainer back, and his character is in there for like 2 seconds. But if you voiced someone and I guess it's because they started production 6 months. You said
afterwards,
it's just like, it was really easy. It's like, we know you ain't got nothing going on, so
hey, we're already giving you one paycheck. You be cool with another paycheck?
Why not two?
Yes, please.
So the voice cast for Planes, Fire, and Rescue is Dane Cook is Dusty Cropper, Ed Harris is Blade Ranger, Julie Brown is Lil Dipper, Curtis Armstrong is Mar, John Michael Higgins is Cad, Hal Holbrook is Mayday, Wes Studi is Windlifter, and Brad Garrett is Chug. And there's much, 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 much more.
A lot of characters. In this movie.
A lot of names.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that. For their other works, we have Dane Cook is Charlie in American Exit.
Okay.
Looks like a 2019 film. Ed Harris is, where is it? It's whoever he is in Westworld. He's the man in black in Westworld. I thought he had a real name. Julie Brown is Virginia Venti in Happy Gilmore. Oh, she's also Claire Dunphy in Modern Family. Probably should have
love that show.
One. Curtis Armstrong is Snot in American Dad. John Michael Higgins is John in Pitch Perfect.
I love John Michael Higgins.
Oh,
man.
yeah, he's great.
He's funny.
Hal Holbrook is Ron Franz in Into the Wild, and also Preston Blair in the movie Lincoln. Not the one where he hunts vampires, just the regular one. Wes Studi is Mogwai. No, not Mogwai. M-A-G-U-A. Magua. He's whoever, however my white tongue can't pronounce it. That's his character in The Last Mohicans. He's also Sphinx in Mystery Men.
Oh, okay.
And lastly, Brad Garrett is Gustav in Ratatouille.
Ooh. I got a Ratatouille.
So, that Key and Peele skit.
Yeah, I guess.
So, a little bit of fun facts about this movie before we kind of get into the nitty gritty of it. Jerry Stiller and Anne Maria voiced the RVs, Harvey and Winnie, who are celebrating their 50th anniversary in Piston Park. Stiller and Maria celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary in 2014, the same year the film was released.
Aww.
The red stuff being dropped from the airplanes is a long-term fire retardant called Phosgene. It has been used by the U.S. Forest Service for 50 years, and it is used to create a containment line around wildfires. It is dropped as a liquid and will remain effective until it is washed away by heavy rain. The red color is used so pilots can see where to drop the next load to tie with the line of the previous drops.
Makes sense.
Here's a cool one. The train that brings the campers into the park is named Maury. On its side, John Maury was a naturalist who wrote many books and poems at his time in Sierra Nevadas. He is also the founder of the Sierra Nevada Club and is thought of as the father of national parks.
Oh, cool.
The Piston Peak fire truck Pulaski is named after the firefighting hand tool of the same name. It is part axe and part hoe, and it's named after its inventor, Ed Pulaski.
He was voiced by Putty.
Yeah. Shit, what is his real name?
Patrick
Patrick Warburton.
Yep.
And then there's also there's Chips parody in this that has the other Chips guy. What's his name? Fuck.
What? Why do I want to say Lorenzo Michaels? But that's not it. I know that's not it. Eric Estrada.
There we go.
That's it.
But yes, while the chops, there's a scene where Blade rescues a red car from a Fire Studio 4x4, a reference to Studio 54, and it is insinuated they play a drinking game every time he uses his hoist in the show.
Yep.
So let's talk about this movie. Dusty being crowned the champion of the global race around the world.
Yep.
Is training, and he realizes that he's got shavings in his gearbox, and he can no longer redline, which is basically how he won. He's been pushing himself too hard. And
he's such an old model that they can't find a replacement. They stopped raising
questions about the Cars universe. Is this like, what organ would you associate this with? If he was an athlete, is it like, so he's got like shin splints, would you say? I don't know.
No, I would say it's more like the hip injury on Bo Jackson.
Okay. I knew you were going to have like a sports reference that would like really help me, because I was like,
you're done.
It's not like his heart.
Not coming back.
It's not like his heart. So it's no. But like, they're basically like, you have shavings everywhere. If you redline again, your engine
Die.
will seize, you will crash, and you will die. And Dusty's pretty depressed about it, and accidentally causes a fire. And they have like one old guy fire truck, and they stop the fire, but they have to tip over a water tower to do it, and that causes the fire police,
the chief fire inspector to come by.
He's like, "Are you the only firefighter here?" He goes, "Well, yeah, but there's not a lot of fires."
We get them just when a Yahoo crashes.
I was like, I love that that's his excuse. He's like, well, we don't have a lot of them. I feel like I'm doing okay. And so he's just like,
one fire in 50 years, and we need another fire person.
All of a sudden, there's an investigation. But so the fire marshal, I guess, or chief of fire police, he says, I'm shutting down this airport until you upgrade this fire truck and also get a second firefighter. And, which is bad because, Joel, what's just around the corner?
What, the corn festival?
That, you know what, in the Midwest, that's definitely a thing, which is where I feel like Dusty is kind of.
Oh, yeah. The crops, it's got to be the Midwest.
And this poor plane, she's like, I've already made my corn costume. How'd that plane get that corn costume on? I don't know.
But how did she make it? She ain't got hands.
Yeah, she got no hands. It's made out of cloth, which involves sewing. I love that the throwaway jokes just like open up these like existential questions about the Cars universe.
Yeah, it's just like, how does this work?
There's a factory that makes. I know that there's a factory that makes parts, but the fact that it's like, they make it's just like, why would they stop making them? Why would they stop making Dusty's gearbox? Dusty doesn't seem like that old of a plane.
It's to have the old models die out. There's not enough corn fuel to go around, Andrew.
I guess it just seemed odd. It's just like, that's like if we went to a liver factory or something. I don't. It's just like when you try to make the conversion from metal sentient beings to meat, it starts to get disturbing.
It really does.
Hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I make thigh muscles. Oh, I heard that's good work. It's good work. Yeah. Yep.
Heard it's got good benefits. Oh,
good benefits. Great
benefits.
My boy, he works at the abdomen factory. You know, you give me a couple extra bucks, he'll hook you up. Be shredded by summer.
I figure 5 more years at the thigh factory, I can finally move up to lungs and liver.
Yeah,
that's where the real money's at.
That's where the real money. Them life-saving organs. Oh yeah.
Just gotta put in my time now.
Is it one big factory you think that makes like the body parts, or do you think it's like separate? Dude, I gotta go all the way.
They've got it spread out.
My lungs are coming from Michigan. There's not enough time.
There's not enough time, man. There's a snow up there. My lungs gonna be delayed.
These lungs are from Detroit. Might as well already have lung cancer. You know what I'm saying? Ridiculous. But yes, so Dusty goes and he's like, yeah, I got a friend over there. His name is Blade Ranger. He'll get you certified to be a firefighter plane. And yeah, they go over there, and Dusty is not good at following directions.
No, he's the wild card. He was the guy who wanted to break out of his normal routine of being a crop duster.
Yeah,
to become a racer.
Yeah.
So,
which is probably what ruined his gearbox to begin with.
Well, it is 100%.
100%. So they go there, and there's There's a woman plane that's obsessed with him because she knows that he's a world champion. And then
she's kind of like a stalker. Like her whole character.
She's not kind of like a stalker. There's at one point where she's like, I love to watch you sleep.
I like watching you sleep.
And so, like, he goes, they're just like, there's a wildfire. Dusty's like, what? There's a wildfire. She's like, oh, yeah, it's just a little one. You only hear about the big ones on TV. So they go out, they do their thing. I remember the trailer because I remember where is it? The big plane that they jump out of. He goes, I don't know why you guys would want to jump out of a perfectly good plane. And he's like, well, we're not. We're jumping out of you. I thought that was a good joke. And you see how firefighters, in a way, you fight a wildfire. The air team contains it while the ground team, make sure that everything stays out and stuff. And
yeah, like a path for the fire to just naturally burn out.
Just kind of do its thing. And they come back, and then Dusty's there, and he's in the way. And then Blade is like, who the hell are you? And he's like, I'm the newest recruit. Pleasure to meet you. And
immediately Blade is just like,
is like, this useless, famous fuck. And I love it because he's just like, I did race around the world. And Blade's like, was the world on fire? And Dusty's like confused by the question. He's like, no. And he's like, well, then you don't know anything about firefighting. You might as well go home, champ. So that's his nickname. And then Windlifter. Yeah, I think they did a good job with Windlifter. They could have done so much to make him very offensive, and they didn't.
He's one of my favorite characters.
He might be one of mine. Movie. Then we see the superintendent, Cad. Who is a asshole.
100%. And they got the best voice actor.
Oh, yeah. John Michael Higgins does a great job of just a guy who you've had a boss like him. Unfortunately, it's for an entire national forest, and they got this lodge that they're unveiling, and all the money went to that. Meanwhile, the more important thing, the fire department that would keep it from going up in smoke is sorely underfunded
now. Because they moved some of the budget from the fire department to the lodge.
Cad does that more than once, moving something away from the fire department. And we actually learn, this movie's a little bit educational on like how fire and rescue, how they do like certain things. Like, they don't always they have their one load of fire retardant. They can do a split load, they can do a full one. But if they really can't, you can't always go back to the fire station. But if you have a body of water near you, you can swoop down, scoop up, gallons of water and then launch it. And that's better than nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
We also see, we get to this. So there's the Wall of Fame. And, he's like, is this like Skipper's Wall of Fame? The like wrenches. And he goes, how do you get on that? And Murr's like, you crash. You have to die. This is a nice memorial.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And so
it's
they
go a little bit heavier.
Oh yeah, it's heavy handed. A lot of death in the Planes movies. Feel like the Cars movies are more lighthearted, but it's like Planes 1, we watched a World War II ambush, and then this one,
fire ain't no.
I mean, fire's no joke. That's true.
With.
It's a very serious thing, and there's a huge wildfire, and later on in the movie, and like, this is when, Dusty gets caught in like a river, and he floods his engine because he's not listening. He's just like, he's not following orders. And Blade, who's, we're going to assume has been doing this for a very long time, is like, you don't follow orders. You don't do any. This is after, I think this is after Dusty learns he used to be an actor and he quit, but nobody knows.
Yeah.
Like, Dusty doesn't know why he quit, but he's just like, you don't follow orders. And he goes, you're not listening to me. Why don't you just go back and race? Because he wants him to redline, because he's like, you need to pull through. You need to redline. He goes, I can't redline. And this line that Blade says makes the ending of this movie kind of sour for me.
Yeah.
Because Blade says something very profound to Dusty. He goes, sometimes, I can't remember the direct quote.
Basically, like, sometimes life doesn't
life
work
will
out.
Change in ways, and you have to find a new path in life. Something can happen to you that, like, you used to be I used to be an actor. Now I'm a firefighter. It's like, you used to be a racer, but now you want to be a firefighter. And one thing about firefighting is you need to follow orders, because people who are more experienced than you are trying to keep civilians alive along with keeping you alive. And it's like,
not about you.
It's not about you
your
or
own
your ego.
personal. Yeah, it's not about your own personal glory.
Which, I completely forgot the reason Dusty is so. He should have just been like, I'm not in the right headspace. I can't do this. This is another part of the movie that makes it the ending that much more kind of like, I don't know, it takes away from it. So Skipper, Chug, Dottie, they're all like, we found your gearbox. It was in Detroit, stuffed away, we got it. And it's like this big fucking inferno happens, and right before they call them and they're like, actually, it was mislabeled. We've called everywhere. You're never going to race again.
At that point, Dusty's, his whole racing career, all of those dreams he had have went up in smoke.
I would say it's basically the equivalent of a firefighter who their dad had cancer, and that they get the phone call that they lost their dad, and then they're like, okay, we gotta go. Like, at that point, you're like, no, I can't. When something traumatic happens to you, you have to. This is a little bit of a life advice. It's okay if a tragedy happens to you and you admit to your boss or significant other or whoever you need to tell, be like, hey, I gotta pull back. I gotta reassess.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, even like, it probably would have helped them if he wasn't there. Because, you know, Blade wouldn't have had to waste all that time saving him.
Yeah.
And also wouldn't have gotten extremely hurt to the point where it's like, he almost didn't make it. You know,
they thought he
wasn't. And that's when Murr was like, he lost his best friend in a freak accident, and he couldn't save him. So he dedicated his life to making sure that no one has to go through that again. This fire is also still whirling. Like, it's still going. And Cad's got the he's got the, what is that one guy's name? It's like the Secretary of the Interior, right?
Yeah.
He's got the Secretary of the Interior coming to visit. And he's like, just don't worry about the fire. It's like 4 hours out, which is to a normal person doesn't seem like a lot. But then when you realize it's like, that means if somebody's telling you that it's 4 hours away, they're telling you that so you can leave. They're not telling you that because it's like, we got it. And it's like, you got 4 hours to get very, very far. But Cad is like, I'm opening this fucking hotel, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, Cad does not want to ruin his grand opening.
Yeah, he doesn't want to ruin his moment.
He's very open about that.
Yeah, and he will do. And then he's like, his little garçon is like, we don't have the water to, run the sprinklers as much as you want. He goes, steal it from the fire station. And you're like, that's the selfish asshole that you, it's like, what a piece of shit.
Let the whole ward burn around you.
Yeah, as long as my precious lodge is safe.
I know.
And so, they regroup. They're like, okay, we got to get this going. Like, they're in danger. And so everybody gets going, and they're like, Windlifter is in charge. Apparently, helicopters are just in charge of, in emergency situations.
And they can survey easier.
I guess, yeah, that's true. So Windlifter's like, they're like, you're out of water. He goes, well, we got what we got. Let's go. We just got to do the best we can.
Yeah.
And then, we fly around and things are going bad. So the cars are a lot of cars get on a train, and then there was no more room on the train. They're just like, try to get to the exit. There's only one exit. Giant tree falls on it. And then the firefighters do what they can. They rescue basically everyone, but unfortunately,
oh no,
the two RVs went to the bridge where they first met, Winnie and Harvey. They're stuck on the bridge, but Blade apparently gets the rest he needs after the surgery. He helps, and then Dusty, he redlines it one last time, trying to get fuel up on a waterfall. And he saves them, and then there's a whole big thing, and then what happens? Dusty seizes up.
Yep.
Crashes. Gets fucked up. And this is where it's bullshit.
Yes. I agree with you 100%. They ruined.
They ruined the lesson. They ruined the lesson with this scene. And
have your cake and eat it too, basically.
So what happens is they're like, Dusty gets repaired. He's been out for 5 days, and they're like, Murr, did you tell him? He goes, no, I haven't told him yet. And he goes, I know that I'll never race again. I'll never fly again. He goes, actually, I was able to rebuild your gearbox with custom parts that I designed because I'm a genius. And I'm like, this is, it's children's. I had to like goosebump myself and be like,
yep.
It's a children's movie. They gotta have a happy ending. It's too heavy of a lesson to learn at 8 or 10. The lesson that I think you should learn, where it's like, but like if you fuck up, Bo Jackson, for example, he fucked up his hips, right?
Yep.
He didn't get like a new bionic hip replacement
that allowed him to play
at the level that he could play. So I understand it, but it sours it just a little bit. But then Dusty gets certified, Cad gets fired. He gets certified just in time for the fire marshal to be like, this place
Corn
is
Festival.
Which also they have to make him have the ability to fly again. Otherwise, the movie's super sad because the airport gets shut down and the Corn Festival is a flop. So
they could have made it.
I understand, but fuck, it'd have been a better ending if he stays seized.
This is how I think they could have ended it on a happy note. They could have said, you know what, Dusty, we fixed your gearbox. And then he could have just been like, you know what, thank you so much, but I want to just be a firefighter.
Oh,
like, I
not
wanna
be a racer
save
again.
people. Yeah, because at the end of the movie, he talks about how he's still going to race and be like a volunteer firefighter.
That's true. So it's
But
like,
I'm like,
you're saying if he dedicated his life to being a firefighter.
yeah, he could have been like, you know what? I could be racing, but I've done that. I found
Yeah.
a new passion in saving lives.
That's
But
true.
no.
That's true.
No.
But no, he got to have his cake and eat it too, which is why I enjoy this movie a lot. But that ending is like a trip on the finish line to me.
I feel the same way. I was loving it. It's got that level of humor that's just kind of silly, because they had probably my favorite character in all of these movies. They had Boat Reynolds in it.
Oh yeah, they do have Boat Reynolds.
Boat Reynolds.
And he almost gets left behind in the fire because he can't go anywhere. He's on a trailer hitch.
Yeah, fantastic. But yeah, like, it just, I felt like that ending was so cheap. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, I get it. You want to end it on a happy note. You could have still done that, but why? Why do you make it like this?
So, Joel, I believe it's time to move to your new reoccurring segment, reviews that are fire and reviews that need to be rescued.
Oh, nice.
That was an easy one this week.
All right, so this is sitting at a 5.9 out of 10.
Yeah, it was not like the first Planes movie. I feel like enough time for of it is passed that I feel like we're judging it a little less harshly.
Yeah. 21,000 ratings on this thing. That's a pretty high number for this podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a 1 out of 10, titled, I actually quite like the movie, except for the way they had to write the Little Dipper character. I found the character to be very fun. The story actually was interesting, waiting to see how characters overcame the struggles they were facing, and the visuals were amazing. It was cool learning about aircraft firefighting techniques, and got plenty intense at the climax of the movie. I would have given this movie an 8 easily, except the creeps making kids movies seem to always have to write the female characters that have to throw themselves at men for approval. It's obvious they don't think of women as more than a thing to use, and are hoping girls adopt that idea when they are young. Frankly, I think it's sexual grooming to put this stuff in a kid's movie.
Well, that review was written by someone with blue hair. I'm just saying. What about the
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
All right, so this one is titled Best Planes Film Ever.
That's not fair. There's only 2.
I was about to... Hey, it's still top dog.
I guess it's still top dog. Very rare for a sequel to beat the original.
You're still first place. This is the funniest animated planes film ever made. It even involves awesome animation, and also happy for its 10th anniversary in 2024. This movie was terrific to see how Dusty became an actual firefighter. This film would have won an Oscar for Best Animated Film. I'm surprised nobody at this movie. This plane sequels is very well developed and would have made more movies if it weren't for Disney Toon Studios closure in 2018. I would love to see more plane stuff developed by Disney Toon Studios, shuttered, and I would make another product of planes one day. The scenes in this film were a hit too.
I wouldn't go so far as to say it would win an Oscar for Best Animated Film, but it is enjoyable.
Yeah.
I will say that okay, so I think that kids' movies should be reviewed by children because Todd McCarthy of The Hollywood Reporter gave this film a mixed review, saying, beautiful to look at, but this is nothing more than the little engine that could. Story refitted to accommodate aerial action and could not engage the active interest of anyone above the ages of 8 or 10. This man is probably 40 years old.
Andrew, you do realize if things that are made for kids can only be reviewed by kids, me and you might be out of a job on this.
No. We are
adult kids.
We are historically reminding people of lost media. We're only reviewing it as a side business.
We're doing the earth a justice here.
The reviews are free. But yeah, I believe that wraps up Planes, Fire, and Rescue. Any closing thoughts? You got Disney Plus, you can watch it.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Even if you got it playing on in the background, it's still just, it's a fun movie. I mean, if you got little ones, they'll love it. It's just a fun, cute little movie.
The Cartoon Dumpster Dive official review of It's Good Enough.
It's good enough.
Much like our podcast. And if you would like to support this Good Enough podcast, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have the $5 tier that gets you stickers and pins mailed to your door, access to our Discord, and extended episode audio and bonus episodes. You can go to our website and submit a request, or go to our store and buy a shirt that'll get there someday. The one I ordered still isn't here.
Holy crap.
We have a Twitter and a Blue Sky, both Cartoon DD. We are Cartoon Dumpster Dive on all other social media. And as always, we appreciate a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice, so our studio doesn't get shut down and we can still make podcasting content that you love. Have a great rest of your week. Fly high, superstar.
See ya.
This has been a Lugho podcast.